Starry Sphinx. So here's what we know about the Starry Sphinx. It is a constellation. During this event, a bunch of the constellations basically land on the ground and unfold into a bunch of arcs. This construction, this arc. And the arcs are arches. Let's call it arches, just to make sure we're talking about the correct thing. But these arches, like the McDonald's arches, they basically create like some kind. I don't know what's happening, but they create lightning. Maybe they're teleporting stuff. Maybe it's some kind of something. Who knows what it is, right? But point being is that during this event, lightning is a byproduct of this. And when the lightning strikes hit the sand, it creates Giza glass, which has anomalous properties. One of those properties is that any body part that is cut off still has a connection to the original body part. So, for example, if you were to cut an arm off with the glass, you would still be able to move the arm no matter where you left that arm. It didn't grant any special abilities necessarily, but it seems like, very specifically, at the very least, if you were to cut off a human being's head off, over time, the head would bloat up and actually begin to float, creating the crowds. But because of the bloating, their eyes would effectively be sealed. They wouldn't be able to talk because they don't have vocal cords. So, like, that's just one example of the anomalous properties that it has. But that's just when used as a weapon. There could potentially be other things that it's used for. Let's check it out. I'm hoping we get to see more about what the Giza glass is used for. TFMD on Mars? Wait, hold the phone! The Sphinx is on Mars. And it's moving! It's walking around! But here's what's even weirder is the fact that it seems to be crawling. It's not like I would expect it to stand up like a cat and start walking around, but it's just crawling. Like the whole monument itself is crawling. Like, so it didn't become an animated cat sphinx person. Excerpts from an interview recovered from an arson scene, unrestored.
Egypt was entirely against excavation. They had every right to be upset when we went ahead with it anyway. Because their system worked for thousands of years and would continue to protect the country. It's right. At the time, the president and our military did not care. They do their switch.
They said, what? Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't ahead, it's right there. They said that their system worked for thousands of years, and it would continue to protect their country. Okay, I mean, it makes... Okay, so potentially Egypt has their own monument monsters, being the Sphinx. So is that why the star... Like, is that what's happening? Or are they using the constellations to what? To keep the Sphinx asleep? And part of that, like, the byproduct of that is the Giza glass?
But military did not care. They viewed their solution as a problem and desperately needed a better solution. American solution. Which in this case was excavation.
But why excavate it? What were they trying to get? What were they trying to... TFMD leaves Mars. What does TFMD stand for? So the freaking Sphinx can just leave planets too? true forces of mass destruction. Ooh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, excavation was inevitable. CFMGs have been acknowledged by UN Security Council as the single most dangerous threat to humanity. Of course, this was before climate change and mankind was classified as CFMGs under the new administration.
That's hilarious. Wait, so Dean classified mankind as a TMFD.
At the time, the methods of pyramids required immediate action.
Wait, so are they saying, did it escape, or is this basically how the Sphinx came to land? On Earth, cause...
The ancient pharaohs personally appointed workers called guardians, with some years of their lives striking the trees. They were equipped with the finest user glass balloons, which had substances to inhibit muscle fatigue and reduce insomnia. So they
Hold up, so the ancient Egyptians had, the pharaohs had guardians. So we know that the guardians have existed for ancient times, using Giza glass. Right. Then the Americans created their own version of called the Giza Guardians. That they used in the Grand Canyon to protect American interests. But the actual Guardians that had Giza glass blades were actually using it to chop down the special trees? So are the special trees like luring the Sphinx, or what?
were able to hit the trees for several nights in a row. The goal was not to cut down any of the trees, of course. That wouldn't be possible until 1945. Rather, the intention was to shift the tree's focus from upward growth to internal repairs. The ancient Egyptians knew that they could not permanently halt the tree's germination, but by prolonging their growth, the Egyptians bought themselves time to build enormous towers that would better contain the trees.
Okay. So that's how they were like that's how they were inhibiting the continuous growth of the special trees. Which is good, because the special trees keep, like, they're teleporting people into the future, the past. Like they're basically trees that break reality. And on Mount Rushmore, it seems like they keep trying to grow and germinate. It's like too far it's too far along into the process, which is why they have to keep salting the earth there, so to speak, to stop it from growing. I didn't, because we haven't had a confirmation about how the trees like exist, or how, like, is there more trees? How do they go? So the trees are trying to grow. They're trying to like spread, at least on Mount Rushmore, and the Americans have been like stopping it. They've been burning it down. They've been putting chemicals to like make it stop growing. Interestingly enough, though, no modern machine was able to cut the special trees, but the Giza glass can damage it enough so that they stop growing and instead focus on repairs. That's such a terrifying concept. It's a freaking tree, but it has so much anomalous properties, so much reality bending properties, that you have to continuously keep damaging it in order to prevent its growth. Freaking wild. But then they attack it. Wait, do they attack it with the death ray? Was that the death rate? So did they find?
Within the first week of excavation, we found the pyramids extended much deeper into the sand than we had previously thought. The more we dug, the more bricks we had found had already been laid. At the time, we had convinced ourselves that a pyramid had to be within a structure, and it would only be a matter of time before we would reach the bottom. By the third week, we realized that we had been wrong the whole time. The pyramids expanded down excellently. You can imagine our reluctance to tell the public that the pyramids were not pyramids at all. They were towers, infinite towers, all three of them. Towers which contain enormous species of metaphysical flora.
So the pyramids are not pyramids. They're freaking towers that extend all the way down into the Earth's core. And it's just full of different freaking alien flowers. Well, not alien necessarily. He's saying metaphysical flowers. Reality-bending freaking flowers. Like the special tree. Oh, that's such a cool one, dude. I love this freaking reversal on the pyramids. He said, what now? Who, what? False children land. The false children, is that the Giza glass situation? Are those the constellations? Okay, so the false children. So the starry Sphinx starts coming down to Earth. Potentially because the Americans started digging up the pyramids. So they used the pyramid, the death ray, to shoot down the Sphinx. It crashes to Earth. And its false children become the constellations. And apparently, every year or whenever the frick this constellation shows up, an event happens where the false children come down, turn into arches, and lightning starts to come out. I'm assuming they're repairing the Sphinx? They're trying to fix the Sphinx? And that has caused the creation of Giza glass. That makes sense to me. The starry Sphinx distracts observers as mothership flees. Okay, so the Sphinx is a mothership. It actually is an alien mothership. Okay. And what, were they using the Great Pyramids to seed this, or like Earth? With like their flowers instead? As like a what? As a way to like terraform the planet, or what? And you know, this actually goes back to a really cool concept. Where people hypothesize, I don't know where I heard this the first time. Maybe I had this idea myself during a freaking shower thought or some freaking trip or something, I don't know. But like, do you really need something super complicated to make a spaceship? Or do you really just need a bunch of rockets and you could just like carve out a ginormous stone structure? You know what I'm saying? Like you could carve out a giant stone structure stone structure, freaking put rockets on it, fill it with all the life support systems you need, and then done. I'm not saying it's the smartest idea, but I'm saying it is possible to make like a spaceship out of stone. But who knows? Maybe it's not made out of stone. Maybe the stone is just like space debris that's accumulated on the surface over time, kind of like how barnacles accumulate on ships and at the sea, you know? And like that's why it's made out of stone. That's why it looks like rocks. But basically, the false children are a distraction while the mothership flies back. What, flies back to Mars, assumingly? Wait, did the Great Pyramids rise out of the earth? Then the other pyramids awaken. So the pyramids themselves can actually rise up out of the ground. So could it be that the Martians were trying to seed the planet or like terraform the planet? Or are they just pissed off that we attacked them? Oh, snap! So there's more than 3! They just dot the landscape. So if I'm reading this correctly, this is the Sphinx, and every single square is a pyramid. And each pyramid is just chocked full of metaphysical fauna, or flora, I should say. Metaphysical plants. Was Earth intended to be like a storage facility for like different, you know, like a seed bank for like different species of plants? Produced by the Anti-Dean Association. So the Sphinx itself is a crash-landed mothership. Or potentially, it is a ship, and the mothership itself flew away, abandoning the Sphinx. Regardless of what it is, the Sphinx is stuck on Earth now. The false children, which the false children could genuinely just be like a distraction. Kind of like how helicopters have flares that they fire off whenever they're being targeted, like in Battlefield. Whenever you're targeting a plane, they fire flares to like avoid your targeting. It could be something like that while the mothership, you know, runs away. But it seems like the pyramids are potential seed vaults for the special tree. Which is freaking wild as well. And of course, they're keeping all of this a secret from the public. Which is like, that's the grander, greater conspiracy, but then there's also the smaller, more local conspiracy of the fact that they were chopping people's heads off with the byproduct of the Giza glass, and you know, so there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. I like this one. This one gets into the more over. This is more world building than local conspiracy of the government. I like this one a lot. This one's freaking sick. There are no extraterrestrials. Visit our Twitter account for more fun facts. That's a statement from Maze. Of course, of course. Of course Maze would say that. That is insane. I think Earth is meant to be some kind of a seed vault or something. Honestly. That's awesome. Please go and drop a like, go drop a sub, all that good stuff. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Sadu!